Why does everybody want to be happy? It's a common thing for every single person. Everybody sitting here in front of me right now, all of you, you want to be happy. I hear an airplane going over. Every passenger in that airplane has the same goal as you do. Every living entity that we see or don't see around us right now. See, the people in these tree bodies, or the little bugs, you see, or there may be some animals in the bushes in different kinds of bodies, and so on. They all want to be happy too. You see, it's no living entity in existence that does not want to be happy. Why? Because it's the nature of the soul to be happy. It's our eternal nature. We cannot change our eternal nature. We are who we are. We're spirit souls. The spirit soul has eternal characteristics. They are with the soul. It doesn't matter where the soul may be in its eternal existence. It may be in the material world. It may be in one of the 8,400,000 different types of bodies that souls inhabit in the material world. It may be in the spiritual world. See, where there's no material energy, where the souls are not in material bodies. They are in eternal forms, which is themselves. They're eternal spiritual forms, you see. But wherever it is, there is the same thing present. It is the nature of the soul to be happy. That will never go away. And that's why when we're in the material world, we're always striving to find that happiness. The souls in the spiritual world, they are not, because they're in that condition of nature, their natural position where they are happy. They are not looking for happiness. They have it already. If we're looking for something, it means I don't have it. I'm searching for something, it means I haven't found it. You see. If I'm looking for something, it means it must be out there. The soul cannot want that which does not exist. If it's a desire I have, it must be present somewhere. If I have a desire for happiness, there must be happiness somewhere. And I don't mean temporary sensual pleasures. There's people who always want to find fault with the absolute truth. They're always trying to prove that the absolute truth has flaws in it. If you're one of those people, that's unfortunate. Because you'll never be successful. There are no flaws in the absolute truth. So the people that are in this category, they're always trying to present arguments. Oh, but I'm happy. And then you start, asking them, okay, what is the reason you're happy? Why are you happy? And they may begin to tell you, well, look, I have been successful. I have a good financial situation. I have a good family. I have a very loving wife or husband. I have nice children. I'm respected by all. I have many, many friends. I have, all these things, I have homes here. I go on vacations there. I'm in good physical condition. I don't have any physical issues, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And therefore, I'm happy. All right. Now, let's just start removing some of those sources of your happiness. You say you're very well situated financially, you see, but let's say your financial situation turns upside down. Happens all the time, right? Oh, I got so much money invested in stocks. I've always done good in stocks. The stock market crashes. You see, it happens again and again. When I grew up, I was born in 1943. So, I was just after the Great Depression in America. And I heard about the Depression so much growing up. My mom, my dad, my grandmother, my grandfather. Oh, during the Depression, this happened and that happened and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it was a huge thing, for people in that time. People were jumping out of windows, I heard people were committing suicide because, all their wealth was invested in these companies and stocks and everything. And all of a sudden, they're just paupers, and their whole life was invested, and they couldn't handle it. They jumped out. These things happen. The big crash of 2005 or 7, whatever. You see, it happens all the time. So now are you still happy because of that? You see, you go and you're very healthy, but you go to have your annual exam, and they find cancer. It's not detectable yet physically. You can't feel it. Cancer is a very sneaky thing. You can have it a long time and never know it. And then all of a sudden, there it is. Spreads throughout your body. You don't even know it. A friend of mine, totally healthy guy, strong guy, athletic, did bicycle tours in Europe. He was the guide. He took people on tours, riding bicycles all over France and Spain and Italy and et cetera, et cetera. He goes to get a checkup. He's got a little cough. They find lung cancer. 3 or 4 weeks later, he's dead. These things come up all the time, the reversals in life. You see, so are you still happy? Your wife, she loves you so much. Oh, really? Behind the scenes, she found some other guy that was much better than you are. She had this secret affair, And so she secretly wasn't really who you thought she was. And she leaves you, and now you're devastated because of that. Everything that you are saying makes you happy is a fallible soldier. You're standing on a shaky platform. It can end like that. Or you die in a car accident. Your karma was such, you're driving down the road and your brand new Mercedes, which is so high level, and you're the envy of all your friends, and you have a car accident and your life ends like that. You leave your body. So you destroyed your body immediately. See, are you still happy? It's not happiness. It's temporary good situations to give you physical and maybe even mental or both combined illusion of happiness. It's not happiness. It's not happiness for the soul. And all these people who have all these things, many times they're the most unhappy people. You see, they're the guys who are the most depressed. They're the people who are just empty inside, and they know it. You see, that's why, the people who take all the high-level anti-anxiety pills, many of them are very wealthy people. They're very wealthy and situated and stable, materially speaking. You see, and they're very empty inside. Mm-hmm. Prozac, wasn't one of the largest selling drugs because they were selling it to the people in these poor countries. They were selling it to the affluent, all the business high-level guys in America. You see, I can't cope with the stress. I got to take all these drugs, you see. I climbed the ladder, and I'm ready to jump off the ladder and commit suicide. The ladder led to complete breakdown, you see. Sometimes the poorest people who got nothing are the happiest people, I got nothing. I don't need anything. It's all an illusion. This is the message that we need to actually come to terms with. If I want to be happy, I, the spirit soul, forget the body. The body's pleasures are the body's pleasure. Yes, it's huge stimulation available through the senses. The eyes can go just completely into all kinds of dimensions of visual stimulation. And now they got all kind of advanced ways to stimulate vision. You see, you put on these wild glasses and it just makes you go, why? You're so disoriented that people have to hold you up. You go to these places where you can do these things. And you'd have to sit in a chair and hold on, or somebody's got to hold you up because you're so disoriented you fall over. Or all the drugs, the hallucinations and all the, amazing things that can be happening on drugs that go to your brain and change everything, you see, or whatever. So there's that available for anybody and everybody. on all kind of different levels. You see, but that's not who I am. It doesn't make me happy, the spirit soul. We've got more ways to achieve those kind of pleasures than ever before. And out of that has come more depression and anxiety and frustration and emptiness and loneliness, you see, than ever before. So there's a message here. We're going in the wrong direction. We're using amazing abilities that we're given in the human form of life. Mental facilities, see. There's no species of life other than the demigods that have the abilities that we have in human forms to figure things out, to create things, to invent things, to find out how I can stimulate my mind and my senses in all these different ways. You see, the animals, they can't cook up drugs. You see, I don't see any drug labs over there and, by the animals. See, maybe you got some meth labs somewhere in the bushes. I grew up in the South of the United States, and there's about a lot of bootleggers, at that time. And they were making moonshine in the forest, and they were out there cooking up, their home brews, to avoid the taxes and, and so on and so on, And they were doing it with their amazing minds. You see, they could formulate the stills and, make it so they could distill the corn and sugar and so on that they fermented and, make a good turn, you see, make white lightning, and take it and sell it on the black market and make good money, you see. So they did that with facilities they had. They had a crazy ability to do it. See, they had an advanced mental and intellectual facility to do it. They could figure it out. They could figure out how to, avoid the police, so they could hide the stills underneath chicken houses and all kinds of things. But they weren't using their facilities for the right purpose. You see? The purpose in life is not to get intoxicated with all these intoxicants, and they come in many forms, whether it's alcohol or drugs or all kinds of other intoxicants. The enjoyment, of all these intoxicating activities that we do, you see, takes us away from where we really need to be focused in life. So the secret is, if you really want to be successful, that means spiritual success. If you really want to be happy, that means spiritual happiness. You, the spirit soul, are happy. That means what? You're satisfied. You are satisfied inside. See, whether you have everything or you have nothing, whether everything goes well in life because of good karma or everything falls apart because of bad karma.